All right, so we're diving into the Art of Seduction today with Robert Greene.
Yeah.
And, before we even jump into, like, all the specifics, um, I'm just curious, like, have you ever noticed how some people just have that magnetic pull?
Oh, absolutely.
They walk into a room, and
Yeah.
everybody's kind of drawn to them. And Greene's saying that's not an accident.
Right.
It's a skill, an art.
Yeah.
And you can learn it.
Yeah, and that's what's so fascinating about this book.
Yeah.
Because it's saying that seduction isn't just about, getting a date.
Right.
Or romantic conquest. It's a powerful force at play in life in general, in business, in politics, in everyday interactions. And it's almost like understanding the psychology of power and influence,
That's
how to make people want what you want.
Yeah,
Yes.
because you think of seduction as this manipulative thing, but he frames it as this subtle dance, almost like a game.
And it really is about strategy, because the foundation of this is really about understanding human desire. And Greene argues that everyone deep down, we all have these insecurities and longings and desires for something more.
Yeah.
And seduction in its essence is about tapping into those vulnerabilities.
Yeah, so it's less about tricks and more about psychology.
It's about psychology. It's about recognizing the power dynamics at play in any interaction and using them to your advantage.
Interesting.
And he even uses this incredible example of Xi from ancient China. She was this legendary beauty who was sent to seduce the king of Wu as a form of political warfare.
Whoa. So seduction as a tool of political strategy?
That's a whole other level.
That's a whole other level.
It shows you how seduction has been used throughout history to influence decisions, shape outcomes. And he argues that these principles are just as relevant today.
Okay, now that's starting to make me think about all the people in positions of power. Like, politicians, CEOs, even celebrities, are they?
I mean, he would argue, consciously or unconsciously, they absolutely are.
Okay.
And to illustrate this, he breaks down these 9 different types of seducers.
Okay.
Each with their own unique approach.
Hey, that's what I was curious about. Is it like a personality matrix?
It is.
Of attraction.
Yeah.
Do we delve into those a bit?
Absolutely. Let's start with the siren.
Okay.
Think Marilyn Monroe.
Okay.
That calculated blend of innocence and raw sex appeal.
Okay.
Sirens are masters of creating an aura of irresistible allure.
Yeah.
Drawing people in with a potent mix of desire and danger.
So it's not just about being conventionally attractive. It's about projecting a certain...
It's projecting a certain energy.
Energy.
It's about tapping into those primal desires and embodying an archetype that people find irresistible.
Okay.
Another example is the rake.
Okay.
Like the Duc de Richelieu.
Okay.
They embody this bold, charismatic energy. The classic bad boy that women find so captivating.
Oh, I get it. That air of excitement and danger.
The excitement, the danger that's so alluring.
It makes me think of someone like Lord Byron.
Yes.
That brooding romantic figure.
You're spot on now. On the other end of the spectrum, you have the ideal lover.
Okay.
Think John F. Kennedy.
Okay.
They excel at projecting this romantic image, tapping into people's longing for lost ideals.
Yeah.
For a sense of hope and possibility.
It's like they represent an ideal,
yes,
a fantasy that people want to be a part of.
Exactly. Now imagine someone like Oscar Wilde, the ultimate dandy.
Oh, yeah.
They play with their image. They craft a striking persona that defies conventional norms.
I love that Wilde was all about challenging expectations and expressing himself in this unique and flamboyant way.
Challenging those expectations and expressing themselves in a bold and unique way.
It's like they're seducing people with their individuality.
Yes.
And their boldness.
Yes. And then there's the natural, someone like Josephine Baker.
Okay.
Their authentic, playful spirit and self-reliance makes them incredibly appealing.
So it's that effortless charm.
Effortless charm.
That sort of magnetic energy.
Yes.
That draws people in.
They're not trying too hard. They're just being themselves.
Yeah.
And that's what makes them so captivating.
Right.
It's a powerful reminder that authenticity can be incredibly seductive.
Okay.
Now think of someone like Lou Andreas Salome, a prime example of the coquette.
Okay.
They embody an ambiguous charm, stirring up repressed desires with their air of mystery and aloofness.
So they keep people guessing, wanting more?
Yes.
It's like they're playing a subtle game, and that's part of...
They're playing a game, and that's part of the alluring.
The allure, yeah.
And speaking of understanding people's desires, let's talk about the charmer.
Okay.
Think Benjamin Disraeli.
Yeah.
They excel at pleasing others, understanding their needs, and catering to them expertly.
So like masters of social intelligence.
Masters of social intelligence they are.
I bet Disraeli knew how to navigate the complexities of court life.
He did.
And win over Queen Victoria.
Absolutely. He understood her vulnerabilities, her need for companionship and validation.
Right.
And played to them brilliantly.
Mm-hmm.
It's a reminder that understanding your target's psychology is key to successful seduction.
Okay, so we've got the siren, the rake, the ideal lover, the dandy, the natural, the coquette, and the charmer.
Yes.
7 down, 2 to go.
2 to go.
What other fascinating characters are in?
All right, we have the charismatic embodied by none other than Elvis Presley.
Oh, okay.
They radiate an intense magnetic energy that's almost impossible to resist.
Right.
Think about that raw energy, that captivating stage presence.
Yeah.
It's like they can electrify a room.
Elvis definitely had that effect.
He did.
Yeah, it wasn't just his music. It was
the whole persona, the looks, the moves, the voice, it came together to create this larger-than-life image that captivated millions.
Yeah.
And finally, we have the star Sullen like Greta Garbo. They cultivate an enigmatic, almost otherworldly aura.
Yeah.
Think of their legendary on-screen presence.
Yeah.
The way they project an idealized image that captivates audiences.
I guess they're distant, mysterious, and that makes them all the more alluring.
All the more alluring. And it's almost like they're not even trying to seduce.
Right.
They're just being themselves, and that's what makes them so irresistible.
That's a great observation.
So we've explored these 9 archetypes, each representing a different facet of human psychology and how we respond to attraction. But Greene doesn't just stop there. He goes deeper, delving into the actual tactics of seduction.
This is where it gets really interesting.
Yes.
And all ears. He outlines 24 seduction tactics, drawing inspiration from history's greatest seducers. Wow.
Figures like Cleopatra Casanova, even Andy Warhol.
Wow, that's an impressive lineup.
It is.
I'm sure there's some juicy stories in there.
Definitely. But for this deep dive, let's focus on a few tactics that I think will be especially intriguing for you.
It sounds good to me. Let's unlock these secrets of seduction.
All right. First up is choose the right victim.
Okay.
Now, before you get alarmed by the word victim, remember Greene is talking about understanding your target's psychology, their vulnerabilities and desires.
It is not about exploiting people. It's about knowing who's most likely to be receptive to your particular
style. Think about Casanova. He was notorious for tailoring his approach based on the type of woman he was pursuing.
Oh, interesting.
He wouldn't use the same techniques on a shy, innocent girl that he would on a sophisticated,
that makes sense.
Experienced woman.
It's like understanding your audience, tailoring your message to resonate with their specific needs and desires. It's
about choosing a target who will respond well to your advances.
Okay.
Someone whose desires and insecurities align with your strengths as a seducer.
Okay, so choose the right victim is all about strategic assessment.
Yes.
Figuring out who's most likely to be
drawn to you.
What's the next tactic?
Next, we have create a false sense of security.
Interesting.
This is where you appear non-threatening and harmless.
Right.
Creating a sense of comfort and trust.
So it's about disarming their defenses by appearing harmless, lulling them into a sense of complacency.
Greene uses the example of Casanova, who would subtly incorporate hints of femininity into his demeanor to make women feel more at ease.
That's a fascinating tactic. I would have never thought of that.
It's all about playing with expectations.
Right.
And by projecting an air of innocence and non-aggression, you create space for the seduction to unfold naturally.
Right.
You're essentially lowering their guard, making them more open to your influence.
I see. It's like a subtle form of manipulation, but not necessarily in a malicious way.
Exactly.
Right.
It's about understanding the psychology of trust and how to build rapport. Now, ready for something a little more mischievous?
Bring it on. I'm intrigued.
The next tactic is send mixed signals.
Ooh, I like this one already.
This is all about being unpredictable.
Okay.
Creating a sense of mystery that draws people in.
Oh, I like this one. It's like playing hard to keep them guessing.
Exactly. I think of someone like Lord Byron.
Yeah.
He had this dark, brooding reputation. Yet he was also known for his romantic side.
Right.
This contrast, this air of mystery, made him all the more alluring.
It's like that saying, familiarity breeds contempt.
Yes.
By keeping things little unpredictable, you maintain that element of excitement and intrigue.
Precisely. Now, are you ready to delve into the darker side of seduction?
Okay, I'm a little nervous, but let's do it. Hit me with the next tactic.
All right, this one is stir up the transgressive and taboo.
Ooh, this is getting intense.
It's about tapping into people's fascination with the forbidden.
Okay.
Their desire to explore their darker impulses.
Ooh, playing with fire, are we?
It can be, again, think of Lord Byron.
Yeah.
He was rumored to have had an incestuous relationship
Oh, wow.
with his half-sister.
Okay.
Whether true or not, the rumor itself
Right.
added to his mystique and fueled the public's fascination with him.
Wow, that's a bold example. So it's about pushing boundaries, creating a sense of danger and intrigue?
Exactly. It's about tapping into those primal desires that often lie hidden beneath the surface of polite society.
Right.
Of course, this tactic should be used with caution.
Definitely, this is some powerful stuff.
It is. And to balance things out,
Yeah.
let's move on to a more spiritual approach with use spiritual lures.
Okay.
This tactic is about appealing to someone's higher self, their spirituality, making them feel like they're connecting with you on a deeper level.
So it's about appealing to their ideas and values, making the seduction feel
exactly
more meaningful.
Yes.
And transcendent.
The Renaissance courtesan Tullia d'Aragona was a master of this tactic.
Okay.
She avoided explicit topics, instead engaging men in intellectual discussions
Interesting.
about literature and philosophy.
That's fascinating.
This created a sense of connection that went beyond the purely physical.
It's like she was seducing their minds as well as their bodies.
Exactly. It's about tapping into their intellectual and spiritual side.
Right.
Creating this alluring blend of mind, body, and soul.
Okay, this is giving me a whole new perspective on seduction.
Good, because the last tactic we'll cover today is all about taking action.
Okay.
It's called Master the Hit of the Bold Move.
Okay.
It's about recognizing the right moment for decisive action.
Right.
Making a move that sweeps them off their feet.
So knowing when to seize the opportunity.
Yes.
To make that grand gesture.
The grand gesture.
That seals the deal.
Exactly. Timing is everything.
Right.
Greene uses the example of Count Grammont,
Okay.
who rescued his love interest, Marielle Delorme, from a rival.
Whoa.
This bold act solidified his position as her hero.
Right.
And cemented their bond.
Wow, that's quite a story. So it's about creating a moment of drama.
Yes.
A display of courage or passion that breaks down any remaining barriers.
Precisely. It's about taking a risk, making a bold declaration that shows them you're serious.
Yeah, I can definitely see how that would be effective.
Yes.
So we've covered 6 of Greene's 24 seduction tactics.
We have.
From choose the right victim
Yes.
to master the art of the bold move. This is just the tip of the iceberg, right?
This is just the tip of the iceberg. There's so much more to explore in Greene's book.
Yeah.
But these tactics give you a good foundation for understanding the psychology of seduction and how to apply these principles in your own life.
This is all fascinating stuff, and I'm definitely eager to learn more. What other intriguing tactics does Greene have up his sleeve?
In the next part of our deep dive, we'll uncover even more of Greene's strategies.
Okay.
Including how to create a perception of desirability,
Okay.
the power of isolating your target, and the art of using words to sow confusion.
I'm already hooked. Can't wait to dive back in and see what other secrets of seduction we can uncover.
Welcome back. Let's continue our exploration of Robert Greene's The Art of Seduction.
Okay.
I think you'll find these next tactics particularly intriguing.
Okay, I'm ready to delve deeper.
All right.
What's the next tactic on Greene's list?
Let's talk about appear to be an object of desire.
Okay.
This tactic is about creating a perception of desirability, making yourself seem sought after, even a little unattainable.
So it's like playing hard to get.
It is like playing hard to get. Scarcity creates value.
Right.
Think of it like a limited edition item.
Yeah.
The rarer it is, the more people desire it.
Right.
Greene tells the story of the courtesan Marielle Delorme,
Okay.
who was a master of this tactic.
Mm-hmm.
She would strategically play hard to get making men compete for her attention.
So she understood the power of social proof.
Yes.
It's like that feeling you get when you see a long line outside a club.
Yes.
Even if you weren't that interested, before you start to wonder what you're missing out on.
Exactly. She created an aura of exclusivity.
Right.
Making herself the ultimate prize.
Right.
It's a powerful reminder that seduction isn't just about physical attractiveness.
Yeah.
It's about cultivating an image of desirability.
This is making me think about how we present ourselves in the world.
Yes.
Both online and offline.
Yes.
It's about crafting an image.
It is.
That draws people and piques their curiosity.
Absolutely. Now, the next tactic
Yeah.
takes things in a slightly different direction.
Okay.
It's called isolate the victim.
Okay.
And again, remember, victim in this context refers to the target of the seduction.
Right, of course.
Yeah.
Okay, so what does isolating the target have to do with seduction?
It's about separating them from their usual social circle.
Okay.
Making them more vulnerable to your influence.
Interesting.
By removing distractions and creating a more intimate setting,
Mhm.
you can foster a sense of dependence.
Okay.
Making them rely on you for emotional support and validation.
So it's like creating a bubble where they are more focused on you.
Exactly.
Their attention isn't divided.
Their attention is not divided.
Yeah.
Greene highlights the story of the notorious rake, the Duc de Richelieu,
Okay.
who was a master of this tactic.
Mhm.
He would lure women away from their husbands and family,
Wow.
creating situations where they were more susceptible to his advances.
Okay, I can see how that tactic could be quite powerful,
Yes.
but also potentially manipulative.
It certainly can be, and Greene makes it clear that he's not necessarily endorsing all of these tactics,
Right.
but rather providing a framework for understanding the mechanisms of seduction.
Right. It's about recognizing these patterns, becoming aware
Yes.
of the subtle ways in which people try to influence us.
Exact. Knowledge is power.
Right.
Now, are you ready for another tactic that plays with emotions?
Bring it on. I'm starting to enjoy this psychological puzzle.
The next one is called Fill the Victim with Hope and Despair.
Ooh, okay.
This tactic is all about creating an emotional roller coaster,
Mhm.
keeping your target off balance by alternating between moments of hope and moments of uncertainty.
So it's like playing hot and cold.
It is like playing hot and cold,
Right.
giving them just enough encouragement to keep them hooked,
Right.
but never fully satisfying their desires.
Interesting.
Greene uses the example of Madame de Pompadour, the mistress of King Louis XV.
Okay.
She was a master of this tactic,
Mm.
keeping the king captivated by alternating between affection and aloofness.
Wow. So even in a royal court, amidst all that power and luxury,
Yes.
the principles of seduction were still at play.
Absolutely, and it reminds us that these tactics aren't just about romantic conquests. They can be used to maintain power and influence in all sorts of relationships.
Okay, I'm starting to see how these tactics could be applied in various contexts,
Yes.
not just in the realm of romance.
Exactly.
What's the next tactic on the list?
The next one is quite clever.
Okay.
It's called Make the Victim Think They Are Seducing.
Ooh, that's sneaky.
This tactic is all about subtly reversing roles, making your target believe that they are the ones in control, that they are the pursuer.
So it's about appealing to their ego, making them feel like they've won you over.
Exactly. You play the part of the seduce,
Right.
subtly encouraging their advances while appearing to be reluctant.
Right.
This can be incredibly flattering, especially for those who are used to being the ones in pursuit.
I see. It's like you're giving them the satisfaction of feeling like they've earned your affection,
Exactly.
when in reality, you've orchestrated the whole thing.
Precisely. Greene offers a fascinating historical example.
Okay.
With Ninon de Montclos,
Okay.
a renowned courtesan from 17th century France, she was known for her wit and independence.
Yeah.
And she had a way of making men fall hopelessly in love with her,
Right.
without ever seeming to pursue them.
Wow, she sounds like a powerful woman,
She was incredibly
a
skilled
master manipulator.
at understanding human psychology and using it to her advantage.
Right.
And speaking of manipulation,
Okay.
the next tactic we'll explore is all about the power of words.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Tell me more.
This tactic is called Use the Demonic Power of Words to Sow Confusion.
Okay.
It's about using language not just to convey information, but to manipulate and persuade
Right.
to create a kind of spellbinding effect.
So it's like the power of suggestion.
It is like the power of suggestion,
Yeah.
using words to plant ideas and influence someone's thoughts and feelings.
Right.
Think of a skilled orator, someone who can move a crowd with their words. Greene gives the example of Giacomo Casanova,
Right.
who was notorious for using language to seduce.
Right.
He knew how to weave tales, spin compliments, and create an aura of romance with his words.
It's like he is casting a spell with his language,
He was sure.
drawing people in with his charm and wit.
Exactly. It's a reminder that words have immense power.
Yeah.
And that we should be mindful of how they are used to influence us.
Absolutely. Words can be incredibly seductive, especially when used by someone who understands their power.
They can.
Okay, what's the next tactic on Greene's list?
This one is all about creating a seductive atmosphere.
Okay.
It's called Pay Attention to Detail.
So it's about setting the stage, creating the right mood and ambience.
Precisely. It's about using sensory details, sights, smells, textures,
Right.
to evoke specific emotions and associations.
Yep.
Think of it as a form of sensory seduction.
I like that sensory seduction.
Sensory seduction.
It makes sense. We respond to the world through our senses.
Yes.
And a carefully curated environment can definitely influence our mood and our perceptions.
Exactly. Greene offers the example of Prince Genji,
Okay.
the protagonist of the Japanese literary classic, The Tale of Genji. Genji was known for his impeccable taste and his ability to create seductive environments,
Interesting.
using beautiful objects, delicate scents, and exquisite music to charm his lovers.
Wow, that's fascinating. He understood the power of creating a multisensory experience.
He did, and it's not just about grand gestures.
Right.
Sometimes the smallest details, a carefully chosen piece of jewelry, a subtle fragrance, a soft touch can have the greatest impact.
Okay, this tactic is really making me think about the power of subtlety and how we can use our surroundings to create a more alluring and persuasive presence.
That's a great insight. And speaking of creating a captivating presence,
Okay.
the next tactic we'll explore is called poeticize your presence.
Ooh, that sounds intriguing. Tell me more.
This tactic is all about creating a sense of mystery and intrigue, making your presence feel special and unforgettable.
Right.
It's about crafting an aura that draws people in
Yeah.
and leaves a lasting impression.
So it's about being memorable, being someone who stands out from the crowd.
Exactly. Greene uses the example of Benjamin Disraeli, who used his wit and charm to captivate Queen Victoria.
Right.
He understood the power of creating a persona,
Yeah.
a carefully crafted image that made him stand out from the crowd.
So it's not just about what you say, it's about how you carry yourself, the energy you project,
Yes.
the way you make people feel in your presence.
You're getting it. Now, are you ready for a tactic that might seem counterintuitive?
Okay, you got me curious. Lay it on me.
This tactic is called disarm through strategic weakness.
Okay.
It's about using vulnerability to your advantage.
Wait, vulnerability. I thought seduction was about appearing confident and powerful.
It is, but there's a subtle art to revealing your vulnerabilities at strategic moments.
Right.
By letting your guard down, showing your human side, you can disarm your target, making you seem more relatable and less threatening.
Okay, that makes sense. It's like creating a sense of intimacy and trust.
Exactly.
And showing them that you're not perfect.
You're not perfect.
That you have insecurities just like everyone else.
Greene uses the example of Madame de Maintenon,
Okay.
who eventually became the wife of King Louis XIV.
Wow.
She was known for her intelligence and her piety, but she also used strategic weakness to her advantage.
Okay.
She would confide in the king, sharing her worries and vulnerabilities,
Right.
which made him feel needed and protective.
Wow. So even someone in a position of power like Madame de Maintenon
Yes.
understood the importance of appearing vulnerable at times.
She did, and it's a reminder that vulnerability can be incredibly disarming.
Right.
Especially when it's genuine and not used as a manipulative tactic.
Okay, I'm starting to see how this tactic can be quite effective in building trust and creating a deeper connection.
Yes.
What other fascinating strategies does Greene have for us?
Well, in the next part of our deep dive, we'll explore tactics like blurring the lines between fantasy and reality,
Okay.
connecting with your target on a deeper level, and creating irresistible temptations.
This is all so intriguing. I can't wait to uncover more of Greene's secrets of seduction. All right, we're back for the final part of our deep dive into Robert Greene's The Art of Seduction. I'm ready for more of these intriguing tactics.
Well, let's jump right into one that's all about blurring the lines between fantasy and reality. It's called confused desire and reality.
Okay, that sounds a little mysterious. How do you confuse desire and reality?
It's about creating a dreamlike atmosphere, a sense of enchantment that transcends the mundane.
Right.
You use suggestion, ambiguity, and even a touch of theatricality
Okay.
to draw your target into a world of your own making.
So it's about appealing to their imagination. They're longing for something more.
Yes.
Something that goes beyond everyday experience.
Exactly. Greene provides a wonderful example with the story of the actress Sarah Bernhardt,
Okay.
who was renowned for her captivating stage presence. She understood the power of illusion, of creating a heightened sense of reality
Right.
that blurred the lines between fiction and truth.
Like she was casting a spell on her audience, transporting them to another world.
Precisely. And you can use this tactic in your own life, even in subtle ways. Think about creating a romantic dinner with candlelight soft music and a carefully chosen menu.
Yeah.
You're not just providing sustenance,
Right.
you're creating an experience, a sensual escape from the ordinary.
I love that it's about using those sensory details
Exactly.
to create an atmosphere that enhances the seduction.
Exactly. Now let's move on to a tactic that's all about creating a genuine connection.
Okay.
It's called enter their spirit.
This sounds like it requires a deeper level of understanding. Tell me more.
It's about going beyond superficial charm
Mm-hmm.
and really connecting with your target on a deeper level,
Okay.
understanding their hopes, fears, and dreams.
So it's about empathy, putting yourself in their shoes and seeing the world from their perspective.
Yes, it's about listening attentively, paying attention to their nonverbal cues,
Mm-hmm.
and responding in a way that shows you truly understand them.
Right.
Greene highlights the story of the courtesan Marguerite de Valois,
Okay.
who was known for her intelligence and her ability to connect with men from all walks of life.
Yeah.
She understood the power of listening, of paying attention to the unspoken needs and desire
Right.
of her suitors.
It's like she's seducing them with her heart as well as her mind.
Exactly. And this tactic is essential for building lasting relationships, whether
Mhm.
romantic or professional. People are drawn to those who make them feel seen and understand.
Okay. I'm really starting to see how these tactics aren't just about manipulation.
Mm-hmm.
They're about creating genuine connections and fostering deeper understanding.
That's a great insight. Now, the next tactic is all about appealing to their desires.
Okay.
It's called create temptation.
So it's about dangling a carrot, giving them a taste of what they crave,
Yes.
making it irresistible.
But it's more nuanced than that. It's about understanding their specific desires,
Okay.
their deepest longings,
Right.
and tailoring your offer accordingly. You're not just offering them something they want.
Right.
You're offering them something they need, something that speaks to their soul.
I see. It's like you're creating a customized temptation, something that's perfectly designed
Precisely.
to appeal to their unique vulnerabilities and aspirations.
Greene uses the example of the actress and courtesan Lola Montez,
Okay.
who was known for her beauty and her scandalous lifestyle.
Mm,
She understood the power of temptation,
right.
and she would offer men power excitement, or even just a taste of the forbidden,
Interesting.
depending on their individual desires.
It's like she was a master of reading people, of understanding what made them tick.
She was, and that's a key skill for anyone who wants to master the art of seduction.
Right.
Now, ready for a tactic that might seem counterintuitive.
Okay. Lay it on me.
This tactic is called mix pleasure and pain.
Ooh, okay.
It's about creating an emotional roller coaster,
Mm-hmm.
keeping your target off balance with a blend of positive and negative experiences.
So it's like creating a sense of tension, a push and pull dynamic
Yes.
that keeps them guessing and coming back for more.
Exactly. You offer moments of intense pleasure,
Right?
but you also introduce moments of pain, disappointment, or even just a hint of danger.
Interesting.
This creates a heightened sense of anticipation and keeps them addicted to the unpredictable nature of your relationship.
It's like kind of saying absence makes the heart grow fonder. A little bit of distance
Precisely.
can actually increase desire.
And Greene uses the example of Catherine the Great,
Okay.
who was known for her passionate affairs and her volatile personality.
Mm-hmm.
She would shower her lovers with affection and gifts.
Right.
But she could also be cold and distant, even cruel at times.
Wow, that sounds intense. I could see how that mix of pleasure and pain could be incredibly intoxicating.
It can be, and this tactic can operate on a subtle level in everyday interactions.
Right.
Think about how you might tease someone playfully
Sure.
or withhold information strategically to create a sense of anticipation.
Okay, I'm starting to see how these tactics can be applied in all sorts of ways,
Exactly.
not just in romantic relationships.
Now, the next tactic is all about creating suspense and keeping your target guessing.
Okay.
It's called keep them in suspense, what comes next.
So it's about maintaining that element of mystery, keeping them on the edge of their seat.
Precisely. You drop hints, you make promises,
Right.
but you never fully reveal your hand.
Right.
This keeps them intrigued, wanting to know more.
It's like a cliffhanger in a movie or a TV show.
Exactly.
You leave them wanting to come back for the next episode.
Greene tells the story of the courtesan Cora Pearl,
Okay.
who was a master at creating suspense.
Hmm.
She would hint at possibilities but never fully commit,
Right.
keeping men captivated with her air of mystery and intrigue.
Wow. She sounds like she had a lot of fun playing this game of seduction.
She did. And this tactic can be used in all sorts of situations,
Right.
not just romantic ones. Think about how a good storyteller keeps you engaged
Hmm.
by revealing information, gradually building suspense and anticipation.
That's a great point. It's about using narrative techniques to keep people interested and invested.
Exactly.
Okay, what's the next tactic on Greene's list?
Let's talk about master the art of the insinuating move.
Okay.
This tactic is all about using subtle, indirect gestures to plant ideas
Mm.
and influence your target's perceptions.
So it's about being suggestive, planting seeds of doubt or desire without being overt.
Exactly. It's about working beneath the surface, using subtle cues and hints to steer their thoughts and emotions.
It's like a form of psychological judo, using their own energy against them.
Precisely. Greene offers the example of the Marquise de Montespan, who was the mistress of King Louis XIV for many years. She was known for her beauty and her wit, but she also understood the power of insinuation. She would use subtle gestures, veiled comments, and carefully placed rumors to influence the king's thinking and maintain her position at court.
Wow, she sounds like a master strategist. She understood the power of working behind the scenes.
She did. And this tactic is about recognizing that sometimes the most effective form of influence is the one that's barely perceptible, the one that works on the subconscious level.
Okay, I'm starting to see how this all applies together. These tactics are about understanding human psychology?
Yes.
About recognizing the subtle levers that drive our behavior.
Exactly. And the last tactic we'll cover is all about encouraging regression.
Regression. What does that mean in the context of seduction?
It's about subtly encouraging your target to regress to a more childlike state, making them more vulnerable to your influence.
So it's about tapping into their inner child.
Yes.
Their playful, uninhibited side.
Precisely. It's about creating a safe, playful environment where they can let go of their inhibitions and embrace their more impulsive side.
I can see how that would be disarming. It's like creating a temporary escape from the responsibilities of adulthood.
Exactly. And Greene gives the example of the writer George Sand, who was known for her unconventional lifestyle and her many love affairs. She had a knack for making men feel like boys again, encouraging their playful side and indulging their fantasies.
So it's about creating a sense of freedom and playfulness? A space where they can let their guard down and be themselves.
Precisely. And that can be incredibly seductive. So we've explored 20 of Greene's 24 seduction tactics, from creating a false sense of security to mixing pleasure with pain.
Wow.
From using spiritual lures to mastering the art of the bold move.
Yeah.
Greene's book offers a fascinating glimpse into the psychology of attraction and the subtle techniques that make people irresistible.
This deep dive has been incredibly insightful. I feel like I have a whole new understanding of how seduction works, not just in romantic relationships, but in all areas of life.
That's fantastic. And remember, these tactics are just tools. It's up to you to use them ethically and responsibly.
Absolutely. Knowledge is power, and it's important to use it wisely. Now, for our listeners who are fascinated by the idea of influence and want to learn more, what's the next step in their journey?
Well, if you're intrigued by the darker side of power and want to understand how to control minds and master the art of persuasion, then our deep dive into Robert Greene's 48 Laws of Power is the next logical step.
Oh, very good.
It's a fascinating exploration of strategy psychology and the timeless principles of influence. Subscribe now and join us as we delve into the world of power dynamics and unlock the secrets of manipulation.
I'm already hooked. See you next time for another deep dive.